Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Today is episode 5 of the Zero to Hero series where we take this little tiny baby account and we take it to the tippy top. I'm talking about arena, RTA, guild content, whatever it is, wherever it is, we're going to conquer it. But of course, for us to do that, we must first start from zero. Hence the name, Zero to Hero. Now, in the last 4 days, which is, that's how long it's been since we've made a video on this account, I've gotten so much done. An incredible amount done, more than I expected to get done, but that's always a good thing, making progress. So with all the stuff that I've done, of course, we're gonna have to get straight into it and not waste too much time, but I will waste time to point out Sukuna and his 2 bodyguards. Take a look. Oh my god, if you don't know how this happened, take a look at the video before this one where we did 300 plus summons on the Jujutsu Kaisen collaboration thingy, which is still happening right now. So I don't know why I have to explain myself. Go watch it if you're if you're addicted to summoning like I am. Yeah, I summoned literally the instant the update happened. I was waiting for it. I was very impatient. First thing that we're going to talk about, Giants Abyss Hard. The first thing that you should be aiming for as a new player in the game. Now, as you start the game, you're going to move through scenario and you're going to start building your team and all that. You're going to get your units together and aim for Giants Abyss Hard. The reason being is because you need to start finding you a source of runes. With no source of runes, you can't really build monsters. I mean, you could 6-star them and all that, but you're not going to really be able to throw on runes that bring the most out of a unit. And that's going to make you want to quit the game. So, of course, I believe, get the Giants Abyss Hard and then do whatever you want. But, of course, that's what the last few videos have been about. And in the last video, we got to Giants Abyss Hard, but we were slow. We beat it, but we were slow, and I felt like it wasn't consistent enough because units were dying or units just weren't dealing enough damage, whatever it may be. And that was kind of the goal for this video, was to, that was the goal from the last video to do in this video, was to beat Giants Abyss Hard consistently and fast enough. So, aka under 2 minutes, which we've done using this team. And actually, there's a bit of correction. We did it using this team, but I threw in Naomi. Now, you're probably asking, okay, you started off with Lynn, now you're at Naomi. Explain yourself. Here's my explanation. This is technically your original team, right? Veramos, Bella, Crow, Shannon. Your 5th unit can be whomever you want it to be. Lynn was kind of like a replacement unit, and she will always be a replacement unit until you really get your 5th Giants Abyss unit, which you're not getting in for a little bit. I still haven't even got him yet, which is a Kamamir. But we will talk about that later on down the line. But this is your ultimate team, right? You have Vero, Bella, Crow, Shannon. Again, your 5th unit can be whomever you want. I even got a comment on a different video of someone getting a Tashar. You know who you are. And I tell you, replace Lynn or Crow. Or not Crow, replace Lynn or whatever. He's in your 5th slot. Whatever unit works for you, or whatever unit you have, go ahead and throw them in. I mean, there are even other units that I have here that I could have thrown in. Where is he? Right here. I mean, I could have thrown in this guy, because he's not bad. He's not that bad at all. Pretty good crowd control and damage. I mean, it's just like there are units that you could throw in that would work. And, I say do what you want, right? Of course, I think Lynn is a good option for a couple reasons. One, she's not a 2-way. And in the beginning, you have so many 2-ways that you need to start kind of focusing on, especially for your Giants Abyss team, that you don't really want to distract yourself with another one. So, Lynn is a good option. She has enemies max HP on every single skill, which when you enter the Giants Keep, especially just B10 alone, you're going to notice that the boss has a ton of HP. And that only becomes worse as you go into Abyss. And, you could build her tanky. You can build her on attack crit damage HP like I've done, or you can build her on HP crit damage HP. It doesn't really matter. As long as she has the crit damage, she's going to be doing enough damage. Because again, her damage scales off of the enemy's HP, not her attack power. But, of course, after a bit of time, I did do Naomi. Because one, Naomi, she takes runes that most units don't typically use. There are very few units in the game that will take the same build that Naomi has and work with it. I mean, yeah, she has attack, crit damage, attack, but it's the crit rate that she really gets to kind of avoid, right? You know, she has built-in crit rate thanks to her passive, so you can throw her on runes like this one, you know, crit damage, accuracy, HP percent, attack percent, and do this with almost every single one of her runes, allowing her to be tanky and hit hard at the same time. You know, you see this one has crit rate, but don't matter too much. So yeah, you could even throw her on Fatal Energy, which is really cool. So you could take advantage of these energy crit damage percent runes that you're going to get a bunch of. So it was that, and I had the spare 2A energy to get her up and running. So I don't see a problem with it. Again, whichever route you go down, go ahead and take it. If you were like, oh, well, I'm going to just go with Naomi instead of Lynn, go ahead. It works. It works. Because at the end of the day, you know, you should be taking your time anyways, and given enough time, given enough resources, you're going to be able to 2A all the units. So, whatever. I know a lot of people like to speed run the game, and that's, I mean, you can do what you want. You don't have to speed run the game, because at the end of the day, it is a game. You're not going to get any special reward unless you're this massive YouTuber that's speed running a whole bunch of stuff. But, I say, don't overwhelm yourself. But let's get into a Giants Abyss run. But yeah, don't overwhelm yourself. Take your time. You see, this account is 13 days in. I could have gotten a whole lot more done if I really, you know, put in that elbow grease. It's not hard to get, you know, Giants Abyss hard done in 2 or 3 days, given that you have the time to, you know, you can put the time towards this game, you know, to get it done. That, and just, for some people, it could be the luck, who knows. But you just really need the time, which, you guys know me, I don't have time. I don't have a lot of time. I work a lot. But, of course, I think you should, again, take your time, take it smooth, and just give yourself time to breathe. This game is not going anywhere anytime soon, especially with the collaborations. I'm waiting for more collaborations. But, let's talk about just kind of like the time it takes to, the time you should be taking for Giants, right? In my opinion, like, I already know the path that we're going down. I mean, we're going through Giants, Rift Beasts. After that, we're going through Necropolis, then Dragons. We might go to Dragons first, potentially. Depends on the units we have. But we could go Necropolis first, if need be. I think Necropolis would be better because of Rage Runes. But, either one works. But I think we're going to go Necropolis, then Dragons, and then Steel Fortress, Punishers, Rift Raid. And then from there, we do our thing. But, like, as easy as that sounds, the time that you should be putting into each one is different. We're going to do one more run just to show off the consistency. But the time that you should be putting into each of these things, it's going to take a while if you're doing it, in my opinion, the proper way, right? Once you beat Giants Abyss hard, like once you get your team up and running, you should kind of stay here for a couple days. You know, get you a nice stockpile of runes, so when you head into the next thing, when you head into your Rift Beasts or whatever, you have the runes sitting around that you could actually throw on some units. And I'd like to kind of show that off in a little bit, just kind of runes. But, one mistake that I'm going to find, and you're going to find it too, that a lot of people make, is that the instant they beat one dungeon, they don't even farm for like a day. It's like, what was the point of you beating that dungeon if you weren't even going to farm it? You're just moving on to the next thing. And again, I get it. It looks, some people think it looks cool. You know, oh my god, I'm 20 days old and I've beaten all the dungeons. It's like, I don't care. Because I guarantee you, there's a lot you've had to sacrifice to get there. Which one of them is quality in runes, right? A lot of your units are on blue runes, or on, some of them barely have purple runes, right? You just took any rune that you could get your hands on, which sacrifices a whole lot, which we've talked about in a rune building video. But, in my opinion, you're going to spend probably your first week getting to Giants Abyss, and then you're going to be spending another week farming in it. Get your runes up, so when we do hit to Giant, or not the Giants, but to Rift Beasts, it's not going to be that hard of a transition. Plus, it gives you time to start saving up stuff like scrolls, like unknown scrolls, rainbow mons, all that stuff. And it just, again, gives you a little bit of breathing room. So that's kind of what we got to do. And we had a lot of breathing room. A whole lot. So I feel like I have to say that. Take your time. That's essentially the quick and sweet of it. So you can see it's pretty consistent. The fastest it's ever gotten was 1:21. But you can see it varies. I think this is as good as it's gonna get for now. No matter what, no matter how long we farm, all we're gonna really do is change it by mere milliseconds. We're not gonna really get past 1:20 or 21, not without days and days, if not weeks of farming, which I'm not gonna sacrifice weeks of farming or weeks of time for very little progress when we could make a whole lot of progress by going into other areas of the game. So Giants Abyss hard, check. We've done it. 1:21 is the fastest we've gotten. I've never really gotten over 2 minutes since. We don't lose these fights at all. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about are Second Awakenings. So, in my opinion, the first two 2As that you should be doing, especially if you're going to be following along with me, is Crow first and then Shannon. Once you get those two done, I mean, you could really go down any route you want to. If you want to get Spectra done, go ahead and get Spectra done. If you want to get, like I mentioned, Naomi done, go ahead and get Naomi done. Whatever you feel like makes your journey easier. But as I've mentioned, not even a minute ago, you're going to be spending a lot of time in some of these areas. I think by the time we ever even hit dragons, even if we aim for dragons right after Rift Beasts, it's going to have been a good month since we've started the game. So it's just like with the amount of 2As you can get done in between, then why not get 2As done that you're going to be using now, and that might assist you on your way through it, right? So Naomi is obviously a big help, and even like when we're going into Rift Beasts, she's going to be able to be used in the Rift Beasts. So the first 4 2As I did was again Crow, Shannon, then Bella, and then I did Naomi because, again, I mentioned Naomi earlier. I just had the runes for her. I figured why not. And then I did Spectra. Spectra is not perfect now. I mean, he could be a whole lot better, but this is what I have for him. Again, I'm going to need more time to farm, but got him done. So we technically could do dragons, I guess, right now. We could maybe try that some other time. But do whatever 2As you want. Heck, there are a couple 2As I would probably recommend, and I might be doing in the next few days. But like one of them would be Casey. I made a video on Casey, which I highly recommend you check out. She is a unit that it's kind of circumstantial. Like if you have units that can replace her and what she does, it's like go ahead and use them. But like I mentioned, I made a video on her. It kind of explains her whole thing and gimmick of why you would even 2A her. But essentially, she's an amazing Fire Beast unit. I mean, she does so much damage, it's insane. But do whatever 2As make you happy. But you won't need Spectra for a while. I got them done anyways. So I know because people are going to yell at me. So if you want to, you could say Spectra as your third 2A. But it doesn't really matter, again, because you're not going to be using Spectra, not officially, until weeks down the line from when you start. But yeah, these are the 2As, and I just kind of wanted to mention that. A couple other things that I wanted to talk about, especially when it comes to monsters, is you're going to see I have a Cocky here. Again, Cocky is another one of those units that I feel like he's using runes that nobody's really using. I mean, speed fatal runes with HP, attack, defense, accuracy. I don't know who else is using that other than maybe like drunken martial artists, but no one's really using these runes. So I threw it on him, and he's really nice. He's really nice in arena. He allows me to get a lot done in arena. But other than that, you also notice that I have Iragar built. He's on speed, crit damage, HP. For tankiness, sometimes I could throw him in the front, and I could put another damage dealer in the back, which is really nice. But I don't think there's anything we really need to talk about other than this. Other than 2As to look out for. 2As to kind of look out for, and I guess this is what you can do in your spare time, but all these 2As you're going to be using so far down the line that it doesn't matter if you're going to do them now. But obviously Ryok and Ikaru are obviously 2As that you want to look out for. You want to get done soon enough, especially Ryok. Ryok is a pretty nice 2A. Other than that, Shaman is going to be another good 2A to get done But other than that, I can't really pull one out of the top of my head. Everybody else, you won't need for the longest time. But so Ryok, Ikaru, and Shaman are 2As to look out for. But whatever you do, just do not let that hit 100. And I think that's why I got so many 2As done, is because I just wasn't allowing it to hit 200. So, or 100 energy. I wasn't allowing it to get full. But let's move on to the next part. So the next thing that I want to talk about, and I cannot stress this enough, is to do your guild content. Please do your guild content. I don't care how boring it is. You go in here, you do your guild rival battles, you do your world guild battles, siege battles, you go into Tartarus Labyrinth and do your attacks. You see, I've done my attacks today. Do whatever it is. Do your monster subjugations. I don't care. Do everything. Guild content, arena, even your world guild boss battles. I mean, I have one left, but there's no point in me doing that. Because, one, obviously you're going to get a ton of rewards from that. But two, guild content especially is super important because of this guy right here, the Ifrit summoning pieces. You want these pieces ASAP. So I mentioned earlier, especially when it comes to our Giants Abyss Heart team, that we start off with 4 units, right? Vero, Crow, Bella, and Shannon. Right? These are your core units. Your 5th unit can be whomever you want it to be. But your 5th unit that you're going to be really getting, that is going to be a massive help to you, is going to be, if we can find him quickly, is Akamamir. Akamamir is an amazing Giants unit. He hits incredibly hard. He has a speed lead. He's exactly like Veramos when it comes to his skill 2. And his skill 3 is also AoE. So you can throw him on Despair Blade as well. Throw him on Speed Crit Damage Attack. And your Giants runs are going to get cut down to like a minute. So I'm aiming for him. I started aiming for him ASAP. Like, from day one, I was aiming for this guy. And as you can see, we have 70 out of 100 points. Now, there's a chance we don't summon him. But the quicker we can get ourselves to summoning this guy, the easier it is going to be for us to beat him. I mean, again, I've made a video on the Giants Abyss teams. And Akamamir is used in my Giants Abyss team on my other account. But I could even make a video probably tomorrow on Giants Abyss and just kind of reiterate why it's super important to get Akamamir. But get Akamamir. Save up your guild points. Buy Akamamir ASAP, please. Heck, you can see I even bought his pieces over the Rainbow Mon, but there you go. Bought the Rainbow Mon. And while we're at it, let's talk about arena. Do your freaking arenas. I was able to buy the Devilmon the instant the reset happened. And then I even started buying the Light Dark summoning pieces. I think those are the 2 things that are worth it. Once you buy both of the Light Dark summoning pieces and the Devilmon, save up your points for next week. So it becomes easier for you to buy, because there's going to be a day that you don't want to log on, or you're not going to really do anything. And that's when that stockpile of glory points is going to really help you. Other than that, do your dailies. Please log on and do your dailies. Start getting these pieces. And also these are really helpful. You can see I bought all the Devilmons, the Rainbow Mons, everything. The next thing I'm going to be aiming for is probably the 2A energy, or the actual energy here. I'm going to be saving these runes for damn near last. I mean, even the attribute essences and the crafting building pieces are going to be better. Actually, I might get this next for the energy extractor. So I'm going to be aiming for this next. Yeah. For the energy extractor. But with that out the way, we can finally get into the most important thing of this video. Okay, so the final thing that I want to talk about in this video are the Rift Beasts. And I'm so happy we're moving on to this. Once you get to Giants Abyss Hard, I mean, it's pretty much easy sailing from there, as long as you know what you're doing. And of course, I'd like to think that I know what I'm doing. But we're finally entering the Rift Beast. You know, we've gotten Giants Abyss Hard done. I farmed in there for a couple days. I'm going to continue to farm in there for a while. But I'm going to slowly start to enter into the Fire Beasts. And, you know, I wish I could say that, to slowly enter. But I've actually done a couple of the Fire Beasts because of dailies. And I figured, why not try my hand at beating a couple of them. So, triple S, A, triple S. Oh my god. Yeah, I kind of just threw myself in here. But we actually need to talk about this, because this is, you know, it's not as beautiful as it seems, right? So, The Fire Beast. This is not consistent. Not yet. So this team right here works, I suppose. Here's what could make it better. One, we take out Lapis. We need a different AoE unit. And maybe even take out Bella Dion. But these are kind of like, these 4 units right here are kind of like the core units for your Fire Beast team. The other 2 units should either help tank. So your front unit should help you tank. Or help you do AoE damage. Because those minions is going to be a pretty big deal. But yeah, you see that I have the 2 water twins here. They're not crazy when it comes to their runes, but, you know, they're doing all right. When I start getting enchantment gems, I feel like I'm going to be able to really, really focus on the runes. And their runes are going to look a whole lot better. Like with this rune, I could take out like the accuracy. I don't really care about them being accurate. I just need them to hit hard. And I could throw in attack percentage. This one, take out the accuracy as well. Flat attack. Take out the accuracy. Put in either defense or speed. Speed is not going to be a bad substat, especially when it comes to the Ice Beast. This one is alright. Again, I could just throw in flat attack instead of that flat defense. Take away the flat defense, throw in attack percent, and then again, take away the flat defense and put in flat attack or something. Just anything that kind of boosts them. That or throw in crit damage. I need to remember that crit damage can be thrown on some of these. But they're pretty decent now, but they'll be better later down the line. Crow, I mean, I hope Crow's not on blue rune still. No, okay, so he's doing pretty good for himself. They hit hard, they hit fine, but again, I just really need an AoE damage dealer, which we could. I mean, looking at some of our units, we have potential units. I mean, we could throw in Tyron, because Tyron we could throw on speed, crit damage, attack, and throw him in the back. Or speed, crit damage, HP, and then give him a lot of attack substats. It really depends on what we want to give him. We could do Tyron. Tyron would not be a bad unit at all. And then in the front, we could just throw in Bella Dion. That or throw in a different unit. But again, something we're going to figure out as time goes on. I'll focus on one beast specifically as time goes on. And then I'll make a video on each beast. But Ice Beast is pretty much consistent as it is. It could be better, but I think one Bernard needs to be 6-starred to help him with his tankiness. And then this works, but I need it. I mean, it works, but I would like different units. Again, later down the line we'll replace certain units, but let's take a look at this run. I want to see. Maybe I feel maybe it's not as consistent as I think it is. I thought it was consistent, but who knows? Maybe it isn't. Let's see. But when those videos do come, when I do make the beast videos, it'll be cool. Oh, I know why. I need to change Aragard to attack. So he's on speed, crit damage, HP. I need to change him to attack probably, and then put Bella Dion in the front, because while we have the damage, we don't have like the turn pushing. That, or maybe we just need to get Aragard on attack, and maybe that'll be enough. Because again, the freezing is what hurts the most. But once you beat the freezing thing and you just are pushing out raw damage, I mean, you don't have too much to worry about. The light beast though, and the dark beast, yeah. The light beast and the dark beast, I mean, those should be easy. I mean, which I'll show you. I will say the JJK collaboration is going to be a really big help to a lot of people first entering these areas, because it's just like some of those JJK units are actually really decent. So you can see we're kind of being hurt a little here. But I think ultimately we are going to be able to beat it. It's just, the problem is right now we're barely beating it. So that's why I was saying earlier, it's like it's not as sweet and simple as it looks. I mean, we could still very much lose here. And it's because of the freezing that's hurting us. So we pretty much lose here, but that's fine. Again, I was just taking a stab at it. So, A. We're getting an A for this one. Oh, we still got purple. The Wind Beast, I'm not even going to explain the Wind Beast. Not necessarily. We just need better healing, more damage. But we're not even going to get into that one. Here's the Light Beast team. This should be obvious onto how it works. I don't know why Vermoss is there when we could easily have somebody else there. Heck, we could even have Cocky up in the front and he would work. Big single target hitters. You see we have Sukuno working for us here. And he's on the Violent Destroy runes. He's going to be also pretty good for Arena for us to use in there. And then here are the Dark Beasts. Of course the Twins are going to dominate. I'm not going to show these two runs. But because I need to keep it quick and simple. By the end of... I'd like to think by the end of tomorrow. But I'm going to say, give it like a day or two, and we're going to have the Fire Beast done. That's kind of what my goal is. Start on the Fire Beast, and we work our way around clockwise. So fire, water, wind, light, dark, and then we can move on from there. But we're going to start off with the Fire Beast. I'll give you guys my strategy for right now. I might just grab that Tyrant that I mentioned earlier, pull him out, throw him on some speaker damage attack if possible. And that front tank, I'll have to think about it, but we could find somebody. We definitely can find somebody to do that for us. That or we could just throw Bella Dion in the front. It honestly doesn't matter. But we'll find out. I don't know. You guys tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.